Hei, og velkommen til min hytte ute på en øy utenfor Larvik.
And we're here at the hut of Morten Anker, once again in follow-up of our video from last year where we talked about the Norway feedback trial. And in that trial, of course, we found that those couples who had feedback as part of their couple therapy achieved 4 times the rate of clinically significant change. And we also found on 6-month follow-up that those couples with feedback achieved about a 46% less separation and divorce rate. So I'm back in Norway this year to further help with the implementation of adding the ORS and SRS, or user participation, in monitoring the alliance and outcome and nationwide in Norway.
Yeah, and we have this nationwide implementation in the family counseling office, and it's pretty big, it's pretty huge.
Mm-hmm.
It consists of 64 family counseling offices, and it will be around 400 therapists, and each year the family counseling office says around 10,000 of couples.
Wow.
So this is pretty large.
Yes, that's quite an impact in thinking about 10,000 couples, realizing the benefits of using client feedback.
Yeah.
That's great. And so we're here to talk today to kind of further what we've done with the research in the Norway feedback trials, and we wanted to talk a bit about the alliance study that we did that will be in the Journal of Consulting and Clinical Psychology in October, and we wanted to tell you a little bit about the results of that study. What we were interested in were really 2 main things, and actually 2 things that had never been done before in couple research. One, we were very interested in the patterns of the alliance, whether or not there would be different alliance patterns of the couples that would predict outcome better than other patterns. So we wanted to identify alliance patterns. The other thing that we were very interested in was to address the controversy over early change in the alliance. Many people believe that the alliance is a function of early change, that because couples recognize change, that means they have better alliances, and that's the issue that causes the predictability of the alliance, and not that it's predictive in and of itself. So we were very interested in that as well. And what did we find, Morten?
Oh yeah, we did find that that the alliance at the 3rd session predicted over and above early change. And that was pretty interesting.
Yes.
So it seems it's not only that that early change is making better alliances, but it seems like there is a force in the alliance in itself. Having a better alliance will make the outcome better.
Great.
So that was pretty interesting to see that we could find something in the chicken and egg debate.
Yes. Well, what makes that a significant finding is a couple of different things. In one way, people will dismiss the alliance research that it's only correlational. There's 1,000 process outcome findings that support the alliance, but people say, well, it's correlational. But I always like to remind people that the relationship between smoking cigarettes and lung cancer is also correlational, but we don't doubt the veracity of those findings. But many people would point to the issue of, well, the alliance is really a function of people changing, and it doesn't exert much more of an impact. So we really took a very stringent view of that. We not only said early change, we said early reliable change. So we not only looked at whether or not couples changed a little bit, we looked at they changed a lot, and how much did that account for versus the alliance. And of course, as Morten reported, we found the alliance was a force in and of itself, predicted change over and above early treatment change. So it's a really powerful finding in support of the impact of the alliance. And what about the patterns?
Yeah, we found sort of 3 patterns in our study with our couples. One pattern was starting high and ending even higher. That was one pattern. Another pattern was starting more moderately in the alliance and ending higher. And the third pattern was sort of starting low and not improving very much in the alliance. And that's the three patterns we found.
Okay. And how did that impact differentially on outcome?
Yeah, that was very interesting. So we found that starting high and even increasing during the therapy, 77% of the couples both achieved clinical change.
Wow.
Compared to the alliance where it started low and didn't improve much, then the number was 46. So that's a pretty big difference.
Very big difference.
So it seems that attending to the alliance is an important task for the therapist.
So it wouldn't be something that you can take one reading on and know how things are going in particular, because actually we found the first session alliance didn't predict outcome at all. There wasn't any relationship. So finding it in one particular time may be not what you need to do.
No, it seems like assessing it each and every time and look at if it's improving, it's important.
Okay. So really a fairly strong argument for routine alliance assessment, not additive at any particular point, but kind of keeping your finger on the pulse of how it's going
all the time, each session.
I hope you take the opportunity to check out the Alliance study, a study that Morten and I did with our friends and colleagues, Jesse Owen and Jacqueline Sparks. Check out the article on the resource page under Research Articles. And even more importantly, I hope you consider doing alliance assessment with your clients in your clinical work. Thanks very much.